Hey, well, today I'm angry because we are eating our own, and I'm talking about the left coming for Lin-Manuel Miranda and the musical Hamilton. Now, you may not recognize this strange looking fellow, but this is a portrait in the style of the day, which is the late 1700s, of Alexander Hamilton. And this is Lin-Manuel Miranda on Broadway as Alexander Hamilton. Now, Alexander Hamilton is someone who espouses principles that I despise. He was in favor of a strong federal government over the states' rights. He was in favor of a central bank. Look where that has led us. Many of the things that he did in politics even were underhanded and perhaps didn't really reflect well on him. But the fact is that he and the men of his time formed this country. I mean, let me give you an analogy. If I invite you to my home and I show you a beautiful painted enameled piece that I explain has been painted by child laborers centuries before, and you smash it, how dare you? These cultural icons that are being destroyed by mobs are not the mobs to destroy. They belong to all of us. Christopher Columbus certainly did many things that nobody would be proud of, yet Italians, especially Italians in the United States, venerate him. Is that an invalid position? Are they not allowed to have a hero who has flaws? I mean, we live in America, and we need to acknowledge that our heroes are the men who founded this country. Founded the country. I mean, I'm sure there were rogues and scoundrels and slave owners among them. It seems as if everybody was a slave owner back then except for the slaves themselves. That doesn't change the fact that great things were achieved by these men. Here is Alexander Hamilton in a more modern perspective on our $10 note. No longer the dollar, but now the Federal Reserve note, but that's a topic for another day. And as I point out, this is a man who espoused principles that go against everything I believe in. And yet I would fight to the death for his statue, his likeness, his memory to be retained and maintained. Many of these men back then had flaws. It is not for any one group to decide what our culture is. Our culture, we are a melting pot. You don't have the spice or the meat or the rice dictate to the rest of the pot. We all are part of this. We all have a voice in it. This is our history, the history of this country. The men who formed it were flawed. The fact that a musical featuring mainly black people is now on the chopping block just shows how ridiculous these arguments have become. For God's sake, we are a people. Let's remember what binds us. Wake up.